The universe did not arrive fully formed, balanced, and complete. It is not a finished structure resting in perfection. From the very beginning, it has been a story of movement, expansion, transformation, and irreversible change. Galaxies drift apart, stars ignite, burn, collapse, and scatter their elements. Matter reorganizes itself endlessly, never settling into a final state. Even the most stable-looking structures are temporary pauses in a much longer process. Change is not something that happens to the universe. Change is what the universe is. And yet, as humans, we often feel surprised when change shows up inside us. We treat mental shifts as interruptions, emotional instability as malfunction, identity change as loss. We search for equilibrium as if it were the natural condition, when in fact equilibrium in the universe is always local, always temporary, always borrowed from motion. The universe does not resist change, it flows through it. And the brain, built from the same physical laws, follows the same rule. From the largest scales to the smallest, the universe evolves through imbalance. Expansion itself is an imbalance. Space stretching faster than gravity can pull it back together. Entropy increases, not as chaos in the dramatic sense, but as redistribution, as energy spreading out, as structures dissolving to make room for new ones. Order arises briefly, locally, as long as energy flows through a system. When the flow stops, the structure fades. Stars die, cells decay, thoughts pass. Nothing holds still for long. The human brain is no exception. Despite how solid our sense of self feels, the brain is not designed to preserve a fixed internal state. It is designed to adapt, reorganize, and respond. Every experience alters neural connections slightly. Every emotion shifts chemical balances. Every memory reshapes itself when recalled. Stability, when it exists, is not the absence of change, it is the management of change. This is why the idea of a permanently stable mind is misleading. What feels like stability is actually successful adaptation happening quietly. The brain does not freeze itself to remain consistent, it constantly updates itself to remain functional. When those updates are smooth, we feel normal. When they are intense, we call it growth, stress, confusion, or transformation. But the underlying mechanism is the same. Adjustment in response to change. In cosmology, there is no privileged moment when the universe decided what it was going to be. Its current state is the result of countless interactions layered over time, each one shaping the next. The same is true for your mind. You are not following a pre-written internal blueprint. You are the outcome of continuous interaction between biology, experience, environment, and time. This is not poetic exaggerations, it is structural similarity. The universe does not evolve towards stillness, it evolves through gradients, differences in temperature, density, pressure, and energy. Where differences exist, movement follows. Where movement follows, structure emerges. Galaxies form where matter clumps. Life forms where energy gradients can be exploited. Minds form where information processing provides advantage. In every case, change is not the enemy of structure. It is the condition that allows structure to appear at all. The brain operates on the same principle. It is sensitive to differences between expectation and reality, between safety and threat, between familiarity and novelty. These differences drive learning. A brain that never encountered difference would never change, and a brain that never changes would not survive. Discomfort, confusion, and uncertainty are not signs that something has gone wrong. They are signals that adaptation is underway. Yet culturally, we often frame change as failure. We speak of losing ourselves, falling apart, or not being who we used to be. But the universe never apologizes for no longer being what it was billions of years ago. It does not mourn the loss of the first atoms, the first stars, the first galaxies. Each stage was necessary, not sacred. The brain follows the same logic, even if our emotions resist it. This resistance comes from our attachment to perceived stability. The mind craves predictability because prediction conserves energy. It is easier to function when tomorrow resembles yesterday, but ease is not the same as alignment with reality. Reality moves forward regardless of our comfort, and because the brain is part of reality, not separate from it, it moves forward too. Consider how often your internal world shifts without your permission. A belief softens, a fear fades, a value rearranges itself, a perspective widens. Rarely do these changes arrive announced. They happen gradually beneath conscious awareness until one day you realize that something fundamental feels different. This realization can feel destabilizing, but destabilization is simply reorganization becoming visible. In physics, systems far from equilibrium are the most creative. They produce complexity, they form patterns, they evolve. A perfectly balanced system does nothing, it changes nothing, it creates nothing. The brain, likewise, becomes most flexible and adaptive not when it is perfectly calm and unchallenged, but when it is responding to new information, new conditions, new demands. This does not mean constant distress is healthy. It means that periods of uncertainty are not inherently pathological. They are often signs that the system is updating its internal model of the world. The discomfort comes not from change itself, but from the gap between expectation and reality. The moment when the old model no longer fits, but the new one is not yet stable.